By my senior year in high school, I began to wonder why we see what we see. Not in the literal sense, of course, but why do we judge a person's back before we see their face? Why do we judge anyone before we understand them? Truth is, we judge people by how we see them. Despite what some may say, racial stereotypes still do exist in our city, and it's our job to fight back.
I like it a lot. Teachers are very helpful. They're very encouraging. They want you to get your work done and they want you to succeed.
I've always really liked it. I mean, they really don't just care about your education, but they care about you as a person. They always made sure from the beginning that we felt like we belonged and we felt like we actually knew what we wanted to do with our lives, and that, you know, they really seem to care about us.
I'd say it's pretty diverse. Yeah.
I would agree. I mean, we have almost someone from almost every single race, shown in our school.
Yeah, especially at the fact that a lot of our foreign exchange students, there's so many, and they just fit right in.
I agree with you guys.
My complexion is very white, so people don't think I'm Mexican. And then when they hear me speak Spanish, it's just like a big shock. And then from middle school and up, I was like always called Justin Bieber until I cut off all my hair because I apparently looked like him because I was a short white kid with long hair. So
we experience stereotypes, especially if somebody walks in the room. The first thing you think is how they act. You know what I mean? Like you kind of just if a black person walks in the room, they walk in a certain way. You kind of think that they're out there, they're ghetto, and that they don't have a good education. Being a cheerleader, so people think I'm stupid. Blonde hair, blue-eyed, white, and 4 eyes. I have glasses. I've pretty much faced stereotype all my life. I've always been told, well, you're the darker one, so you belong with this group, or because you're not light, you're not pretty. So, and it was basically within people of my own race. So I've never really encountered anything with white people, but like when I think on it, the only thing that white people really have to say about me is that, oh yeah, she's black. Like, I want people to see me more than just black.
I went to Catholic schools when I was in elementary school and in middle school. So it wasn't common to have a Mexican or a colored person in a Catholic school. It was usually white people because we have more money. And so I was there. I was in elementary school at St. Mark's, so I was the only Hispanic there. And then when I went to St. Joe's, which is a middle school and high school, I was there on scholarship. So it was like I was just there. I was like a charity child. So
how the general our peer groups, how we see each other, it's very stereotypical.
Do you think there's a racial divide in our city?
Yes. Yes and no. I think it depends on just where people live. It's just that's where more of that certain race lives there in that part of Kenosha or whatever, and it's just like that.
My parents have taught me to treat everyone like you want to be treated. So no matter their age, race, gender, treat all of them like you want them to treat you. Mm-hmm. So that's how I've done it.
whoa.
Okay. Downstairs it is. Excuse the mess.
Stereotypes myself. I've grown up. My family, we know everyone. My family, we like to have fun and we like to get to know people better. And that helped me in middle school. I had a very diverse middle school. I went to McKinley Middle, and a lot of my friends, they were black and Hispanic. And honestly, I probably had more black and Hispanic friends than white. I don't know why. I mean, all of them pictured me as a preppy white kid because of the way I dressed, which I can see. I mean, but that everyone pretty much thinks I'm a preppy white kid. That's a big stereotype for me.
I think he said he's going for water.
I mean, whenever somebody gets that question, I feel like in the beginning, when you're growing up, it's always going to be that kind of immature, kind of stereotypical thing, where it's just like, oh, black people love chicken, black people can't swim, black people love watermelon. That sort of immature kind of light to it. But besides that, in my middle school, it was kind of weird because, if I was walking to the bathroom by myself, a lot of teachers would be suspicious of where I was going. A lot of, not a lot of benefit of the doubt kind of thing.
Very tight space.
So do a lot of your friends like have green hair or about this place? Are you talking about that?
You'll talk about it?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, like a lot of my friends are just like, you were pretty good parents. Like, I think you don't do anything. It's like, We do mostly all gynecological needs besides actually taking the baby out. I think there was at one point where that would happen here, but it didn't happen for too long. Because honestly, you want to do those things through the hospital because you don't know what kind of patients you're dealing with besides their medical history. But here, this is a private practice, so something would happen here, it can get shut down very easily. But my mom, she's never had to worry about that. She gets along with all her patients. My parents wanted me to go to a Christian college called Oakwood University now. All my brothers and sisters went there. And honestly, I'm not even supposed to be here for high school because there's another Christian school that all my brothers and sisters went to. It's called Pine Forge that's in Pennsylvania. And I was the first kid who didn't go. Breaking rules. It's 1996.
So it's a boarding school? Or?
Yeah, it's a boarding school.
Your brothers and sisters went?
Mm-hmm. They say they had a lot of fun. I get mixed reviews from them. My sister was just like, you don't have to. And my older sister was just like, don't go. My brother was just like, dude, I don't know. Do what you do. As far as college, my parents have been really helpful, really encouraging with whatever I want to do, but they can't stress to me enough the importance of when I get to where I'm going to really keep my eye on the prize, to not to slip up. And thought about it a lot, and that's definitely something that I don't want to do, is slip up.
The one thing that
And from the beginning, like, it just, there's like a vibe that you catch as soon as you go in there. It's like pulls and just like boys. And I don't know, when I first started, it was just like, it just kind of felt like it was just weird. Expectations for my friends are low. I don't know. I don't feel like they expect me or anything. I don't feel like they pay enough attention to expect something specific. But in the end, their expectations don't matter. It's good to have friends. It's good to be nice to people. It's good to always, respect people's ideas and opinions. As far as that goes, like, how far is that going to get? I don't really care about the expectations. I'm not here for that.
Stand for what you believe in. So, yeah, that's what I want to know.
I just got the email.
They got their start.
Yeah, because he had sent it to me because my online one isn't working.
That is the moral of the story.
I don't like this one. I like pink.
Minority race.
This is very rough.
It's cold out.
On the contrary.
I think I wrote the best.
They were your
And he said yours at the bottom.
On the notes page, when people start writing notes, start generating some ideas, start going back off of the feedback that other people are giving, and then things that you agree with, things that you don't agree with.
Wait, we have to write
You have to teach me how to set this
At the
up.
bottom of the...
Our article was, or not article, I guess I shouldn't call it an article, but it had the top 10 like racial stereotypes. So I'll read them so you just kind of get a hint. The first one is white people don't have rhythm. Then African Americans are all good at basketball. All Asians are geniuses. Middle Easterners hate America.
Yes.
White people are all racist. And Hispanics are all illegal.
Trevor, shut up. You're so ignorant. Please.
So,
Okay, our first article was about how a guy named something Dunn, he was like went up to a gas station, there was a group of like, no, there was a car full of like black males, and they were like, had their music up really loud and stuff like that, and he like, oh, turn the music down, and then something happened, and he shot 10 fires at them. Well, his wife was in the gas station buying potato chips and wine. And then they drove off, and then he drove off. And we were just kind of like, I know my big thing was like, why couldn't you just wait for your wife to come back? Is it that big of a deal to have people like blasting music next to you? Like, can you not wait for that much longer? It's like, I don't know, it just bugs me. And
I definitely think, personally, that it all comes down to how you were raised, the community that you grew up in, how they treated those stereotypes and the answers, and if it was acceptable or not acceptable, and that kind of thing. I think it totally comes down to how you were raised and who instilled values or the lack of values in you.
Well, and a big part of this, and we talked about this too, is just like something that's like completely opposite of you that you like you don't agree with because you don't necessarily know it and know about it, or you just are uncomfortable being around it. It's just like that's part of the reason also.
yeah, we said like people can, no matter what setting you're in, there will always be people in the world who will like find a way to hate on everyone else or like someone else who's not like them. Someone will always find a way to hate and judge someone else because of that they're different and they don't understand it or they don't agree with it. And you know, it's kind of sucks that that's the way it is, but there are always people like that. And those people will have kids, and most of the time their kids will follow the examples that they set. So going right back to know the way you were raised. And so just there will always be people like that.
I hope the president is listening tonight because we need him to lead on this issue. Trayvon Martin was killed because circumstances got out of control. He was scrutinized by neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman because of the way he looked. Not necessarily his skin color, there's no evidence of that, but because he was a stranger to Zimmerman and was dressed in clothing sometimes used by street criminals. If a kid can't speak proper English, uses the F word in every sentence, is disgraceful, is disrespectful in his or her manner, that child will never be able to compete in the marketplace of America. Never. And it has nothing to do with slavery. It has everything to do with you Hollywood people and you derelict parents. You're the ones hurting these vulnerable children. You want a conversation? You got it. You want a better situation for blacks? Give them a chance to revive their neighborhoods and culture. Work with the good people to stop the bad people. Pumping money into the chaos does little. You can't legislate good parenting or responsible entertainment, but you can fight against the madness with discipline, a firm message, and little tolerance for excuse making.
Everything he said is very accurate. There's a lot of facts in it, and very truthful.
I just want to say, like, I feel like this guy focused a lot more on, like, what the people did instead of, like, the actual race. And he, like, didn't really talk about that, like, how police, like, might target, like, African Americans or anything. He didn't say, like, any statistics about that, really.
It's not color. It's really just, you can be Asian and grow up in the hood and your parents are black or white or whatever. You just grow up in a certain place and be around that stuff and still have that slang or have a certain like mindset thinking that you go around and hurt people. And it's not really your color, it's how you grow up. What you grow up around.
It's your society.
Just like going off of that kind of, like people were saying, like we have to change the media, but if you just focus on like positives or like if they're trying to cover someone's story, if they're gonna cover someone who like grew up in like a high income neighborhood and just like something like that, it's not gonna like make people want to like strive for that more.
Yeah,
it's
well.
just gonna, I don't think it will. People might just like stop watching the news because it won't be like interesting anymore. So I don't know, I don't think it necessarily matters what you show on TV, it's just like how you show it probably.
He was talking about like how it's like all like, from what I gathered, that it was like these African American leaders, they need to like step up. Like while I think they can take charge, I think it's also everybody. It's not just that, like it's not just the African American community. Like, and I think that just creates a bigger division between everyone, and it just makes the whole racism subject worse because we're creating those divides.
When I see a lot of the times in high school or just walking through the hallways, I'll hear people joking about it, being like, "Oh, you can't dance, you're white," or "Oh, I can't swim because I'm black," kind of thing. And you just hear those jokes, but I don't think that's really fair because a lot of people start taking those jokes as something serious. And sometimes just in the way people act towards other people, like with John and skateboarding. You know, I always thought it was cool, but some people would react with shock, thinking that, oh, he's black, but he skateboards? But it was just dumb.